Hello, let's try that again. Hello, welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. I haven't done one of these for about 8 months, so I figured it's about time I did another one. So we're going back to the good old Commodore 64, and this game is Motor Mania, which was released by Audiogenic in 1982, which was the year that the Commodore 64 first went on sale. So we are talking one of the earliest of Commodore 64 games. Now, this is not me playing it, this is just a demo, but it does give you a pretty good idea of what to expect. Now, let's cut to the chase. In 1982, you should not expect anything advanced, in any way. And yet, this is not as, unbelievably simple and basic as a lot of people would instantly assume that a 1982 game would be. So let's get a go underway. So you start in the petrol station, and away we go. Now this was a game that I did have back in the day. I got this in about 1983. It was one of the 5 first games I got. A bit of a story behind why I got this. I was watching an episode of 321 of all things, and one of their prizes was Commodore 64 on one episode. I'm sure there were other things with it as well. I fucked that up. And they had this game running on it, and when I saw it I thought, that looks fucking great. I probably didn't think that looks fucking great actually in those days, because I was only 12. Fuck it, I'm really bollocking this up. So anyway, a few days later, it was found in a computer shop, so we got it. So anyway, as you can see, it's a top-down driving game. There are various various obstacles to avoid, as well as actually staying on the road. There are 3 different road types. There is the main sort of motorway. There is this sort of, I'm guessing, an A road, and then there's these narrow dirt tracks. There are also cars to avoid, such as that fire engine that goes past, and there are obstacles within the road as well. So we have finally the first car. I don't think I've actually seen another car that I need to pass. Now I bollocks that up by hitting that. That's a log in the road. That has damaged the car, but now I've just damaged it even more. If you hit the log, you have to then pull into the nearest gas station, otherwise you'll get this warning appears because the radiator of the car's been damaged. The warning will tell you that the car's running hot and there's an oil leak. So you pull it in the garage, press fire, and that gets repaired. Now there are other obstacles on the road. There are potholes which send your car sort of a bit haywire. There is broken glass, which if you run over it once, you can actually survive it. You use the spare tyre, which you can see just below my score, next to where my lives would be, but I've fucking used them all. And then if you run over it a second time, that's it, then you do lose the life. If you pull into a gas station or a petrol station, then you get your spare tyre back again. So there's also the falling rocks you've seen. There is a petrol station there. There are also patches on the road which slow your car down if you drive over them. I'm not sure what they are actually supposed to represent, but they are there. And I'm sure there are other obstacles, but I can't remember them. It's been a long time since I last played this. Obviously you don't want to go crashing into that fire engine. Now you do have to pull into the petrol station at some point because your fuel does go down. That, oh fucking hell. I don't need to pull into that petrol station there, so... In fact, considering how badly I started and finished, that's not a bad score. 544.6. Basically your score is just your mileometer. So right, let's get another game underway, and while we are doing this one we will get the review underway as well. So graphics, for 1982 I think the graphics are fine. Yes, the majority of graphics are, the sprites are monochromatic, but not all of them, and there's one of the patches that slows you down. And even though they are monochromatic, they're not exactly terrible. I mean, your car looks like a sort of hybrid between a hot rod and a 1960s Formula 1 car. But, I mean, it does have some animation. The front wheels turn when you change direction. There is some animation there to suggest, the wheels are moving. So... yeah, the graphics on the cars are fine. The obstacles are all clearly defined, no problems there. As far as the audio goes, there's not a lot. There's no music. The engine sound is okay, but it is very quiet. The crashing, the sound when your car crashes, which it does a lot, is, okay. And there aren't very many other sound effects. The only other sound effect that I can remember, well, there's the siren as the fire engine goes past, and there's also a specific sound effect when you run over the broken glass and burst your tyres. If I find any broken glass, I'll try and run over it so you can hear that. Now the game, unsurprisingly, never ends. It just keeps on rendering the road. The road routine itself is not actually random, which is a bit surprising. So you can, you can memorise the track. Indeed, back in the day, I did memorise the track quite a bit, and I could frequently get scores well into the thousands. Which, well, I certainly won't be doing that now. And so finally, the gameplay. I think the gameplay is fine. Yes, okay, it looks basic, it looks simple, and it plays simple. But just because it looks and plays simple does not mean that the game is shit. It isn't. It hasn't aged well at all, but then I don't think there are very many games from 1982 that have aged all that well. So I can't really hold that against it. It's still, a fairly decent romp. And Yeah, there's the broken glass. So that's what happens when you run over the broken glass. So now you have to wait for the new tyre to inflate. But now we have to get to the a petrol station and not crash. Right, well, we've got the spare tyre back, so that's something at least. So, what do I rate it? I mean, alright, it's not fucking stellar. It's not a game that's going to make people think, oh, I wish I had a Commodore 64. But it's an enjoyable game, without being mind-blowing. So I will score the game 6.5 out of 10, which sounds like I'm saying it's not much cop. That is certainly not the case. It's just extremely dated. As I say, it hasn't aged well at all, but it's not bad to have a quick blast on if you had nothing better to do. So there you go, that is Motor Mania, 6.5 out of 10. Not a bad game at all. Well worth a go, even if it is just for novelty value. So that brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.